Hello, and welcome to Fast Fact Schmacks, a quick podcast good enough to get you a C.
Minus.
My name is Matt, and I've got a quick story to tell.
My name is Kev. I have a quick story to drag out and interrupt.
Now we're getting there. So we're going to be talking about the Phantom.
Which one? The Phantom of the Opera? The Phantom Menace?
No, the Phantom of Heilbronn, which is a name I'm probably saying incorrectly.
I've never heard of it.
Between 1993.
Oh, this is kind of modern. Like I was alive.
Kind of modern.
At the time.
Oh, yeah. And 2009, an unknown woman's DNA was found at up to 40 crime scenes, including 6 murders.
Weird.
Yeah, and these crime scenes were in Austria, France, and Germany. This woman came to be known as either the Phantom of Heilbronn or the Woman Without a Face. There was burglaries, murders, but nobody ever saw her. All they had was her DNA kept showing up at all these, very different crime scenes.
Weird.
In 2007, a German police officer was murdered, very, very sadly. And this mystery woman's DNA was found at the scene of that crime. Well, now that it's a police officer that's been murdered, the German police spent a tremendous amount of resources trying to find this woman, the Phantom of Heilbronn. I believe the Heilbronn was the place where this police officer was murdered, and that's why she became to
were all these
be known.
Were all these crimes in sorry to interrupt, but it's my job.
Yep.
All these crimes like in Germany or just Europe?
All kind of close to Germany, Austria, France, and Germany.
Side note, I'm learning German.
Hey.
Yeah. Guten Tag.
Cool. Hey, all right.
Yeah.
Guten Tag, is that what we said?
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Yeah.
Ich heiße
I played
Kevin.
Hey, all right. Hi, Kevin. I played Wolfenstein. That's about the extent of my German knowledge.
Yeah, I had to promise not to do anything that I've learned from German, from war movies or video games. I had to promise very strictly not to do any of that.
That's good.
That was a condition of my free lessons. But anyhow, I digress. Carry on.
Hey, that's awesome. One thing I that is kind of cool about Germans, or not Germans, but like the German language. Just as a small digression here, as an English person speaking, it is interesting to listen to it because you can kind of get the gist about what's being spoken about, because so much of the language is so similar. Like we consider our language to be kind of Latin and French, but it's not similar in.
We take from a lot of different things, so.
We do, but you can definitely pick up on words and be like, oh, I know what that is.
Or did the German derive it from the Latin or the French? What came first, the chicken or the egg? It's kind of that.
I think
it's like.
Well, no, the Germans had their own language for, going back before that.
Did they predate Latin?
Germans?
I thought Latin was like one of the first languages.
Well, it'd be one of the first written languages, but I don't know. That's a great question. That's
we'll look into that.
I know more of the history of like English, where it was very Germanic, and then the French came in, and so a lot of our low words come from German. A lot of our hoity-toity words come from French and Latin.
I'm doing a really good job here because I just dragged this story right out. Completely distracted.
But yeah, so the German police are looking for this woman, the Woman Without a Face. They spend 2 years and considerable amount of resources. They offered 300,000 euros for any information.
Dude, that's like $1 million Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
Easily.
Not quite, but it's like 600.
It's
like 600,000. Yeah, it's like $600,000. But generally, it's like twice as much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a good way to, twice to 2 and 2.5, but not, Anyways. Well, it's a lot of money. About 2 years later, in 2009, they actually figured out that the DNA was on the swabs that they were using to collect evidence.
Oh, this is the most anticlimactic story ever.
Well,
How did it get in? Okay.
It turns out that the manufacturing plant that came from a woman who made these things, and all these different police forces had ordered these swabs from this same facility. And so they were, they're combing for evidence. And sure enough, these swabs come up with evidence all from the same woman who worked at that facility. So it turned out, it actually, if you want to know what happened to that police officer, it turned out it was neo-Nazis. It was a pair of neo-Nazis.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And then after they eventually committed suicide, and when they did, they found her service weapon, which is how they know that they had done it. So,
wow. That's
so I mean, that
tale.
little, it is kind of a dark tale, but it's a little, the Phantom of Heilbronn was just a lady who worked at a factory for a short amount of time. She was the most wanted person in Europe.
I wonder, like, what was she doing? Was she, like, holding the swab in her mouth while she got the package open and, like, dropped it back in?
No,
like, how
either
did she
would have been,
contaminate
like,
all these?
I don't know. I mean, there's a million different ways that your DNA can contaminate anything that you're around, like dead skin cells, or, if you're talking to someone, there's obviously, we know that we're very aware now that there's aerosol and, you're talking. So it could have got on a swab there.
Only if you're breathing moistly. Or speaking moistly. Was that the quote?
I'm Canadian and it's wintertime, so I know how moistly I breathe, which is very...
Well, that's a fantastic story, Matt.
Yeah, it was just a really little story about a thing that happened.
See, that's good for a show like this, because if you went on and told half an hour and then that was the end of it, I'd be like, oh man.
Yeah, for
Perfect.
sure.
All right,
Perfect.
well, that's fast facts schmacks. I can't say that.
That's fast facts schmacks.
There you go. Have a good one, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.